Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My name is Liaquat. I hope you guys are having a fantastic week and day and year as well. Ramadan is just around the corner, depending on when you're watching this video. So let's crack on. So this video, I explained to you guys fiqh of the Hanafi madhab. Right. So first I explain the words, then tarkib, then the masala. So idda'a is to make a claim. في دار is a house. لم يبين يبين. بين يبين. So يبين. صولح مجهول. صولح صالح يصالح. صولح to do sulh. على شيء استحق. استحق مجهول. It's been entitled, claimed to. Okay, so عوض, something exchanged. منافع, usufruct. جناية, crime against a person. عمد, deliberate. خطأ, accidental. ولا يجوز من دعوى, claim. حد is divine penalty. Nikah is a nikah. Tajhad is to deny. Bazalat is to give. Yatruku, to leave. Khul', this is a type of divorce with payment. Idda'at, to claim. Imra as a woman. Salaha, salaha yusalihu musalahatan. Okay, and then you have haqq is right. Itq is emancipation, freedom, freedom. وكل شيء وقع to occur. Okay, occur. مستحق بعقد المداين. داين means a debt contract. يحمل, to carry. معاوضة, exchange. And then يحمل استوفى, it means to receive in full. Receive fully. أسقط, to drop. باقي is this tie is not there. It's باقي. So it's ha. Dirham, silver coin. Jiyad, good quality. Good quality. Zuyuf, bad quality. Abra'a, it means to free someone of debt. Abra'a. Okay. Let's look at the tarkeeb now. So in idda'a, so this is the fi'l. idda'a fi'l fa'il. حقا is مفعول به في دار. لم يبينه, this is going to be the جملة صفة of دار. صولح من ذلك على شيء, so صالح يصالح مصالحة, مجهول. صولح على شيء جار استحق. Okay, so استحق يستحق. بعض الدار لم يرد شيئا, مفعول به من عوض. next مسألة. والصلح مبتدأ. جائز خبر. من دعوى الأموال والمنافع وجناية العمد والخطأ. ولا يجوز من دعوى حد مضاف إليه. إذا ادعى رجل في الفاعل على امرأة نكاحا مفعول به وهي واو حالية تجحد فصالحته على مال بذلت في الفاعل حتى يتركه. حتى gives نسب, and gives نسب really. الدعوى مفعول به. جاز وكان في معنى مضاف إليه. خلعي. وإن ادعت امرأة نكاحا على رجل جار مجرور فصالحها على مال بذله لها لم تجز. وإن ادعى رجل على رجل أنه عبده فصالحه على مال أعطاه جاز. وكان في حق المدعي في معنى العتق على مال. وكل شيء وقع عليه الصلح في الفاعل وهو مستحق بعقد المداينة لم يحمل على المعاوضة. معاوضة not معاوضة. وإنما يحمل على أنه استوفى بعضه مضاف إليه مفعول به أسقط this. So now why I put this here? I can't seem to get rid of that. So what I'll do, I'll just try to color it in a different color so it gets rid of it. So كمن له على رجل ألف درهم جياد صفة فصارحه على 500 زيوف جاز وصار كأنه أبراه عن بعض حقه وأخذ باقيه. خلاص. Right, so now let's have a look at this masala. What is the masala saying? So let's say, for example, there is a guy. This guy is making a claim, right? So he is the claimant, called the muddai. And there's this house, and he's saying, I have a right in this house. He's not saying what the right is. So he didn't explain what the right is. He says, I have a right to this house. So the guy that's living in the house says, look, muh band kar. Close your mouth. The guy in this house, he's saying, okay, look, let's sort this out. Shall I give you money to drop your claim? And he goes, okay, give me some money. Give me 1,000 pounds and we'll call it a day. Finish. Right? So Sulh was done on this. Now he's got this money. But now what's happened is, let's say this basically took place, I don't know, in January. And now in May, someone's come forward and they've said they own half of this house, let's say. Yeah, let's say they all say, I own half of this house, 50%. Or just this right-hand side of the house. I own this right-hand side of this house. So now he takes this right and this one's left now, isn't it? Yeah? So this part is now left. The question is, does this guy have to give half of the money back? So no, he doesn't have to give half, because he can easily say, my claim was in the other half. Does that make sense? So, but if he had said, my claim is in this part here, this part in the right corner, and this is taken, then he has to give the money back, whatever amount it was. Does that make sense? So this is why he says, إِذَا إِنِ ادَّعَى حَقًّا, if a man, this guy, the claimant, he's making a claim في دار لم يبينه, which he has not explained. Yeah, so this لم يبين is the sifa of حقًا, okay? حقًا في دار لم يبينه. فصولح, sulh was done. Well, obviously this guy is the guy who's doing the sulh, for giving the money rather. من ذلك على شيء, from that upon something, in this case it was 1,000. ثم استحق بعض, and then some of the house was entitled, claimed. لم يرد شيئا من العوض. This guy does not have to give back anything, because simply he can say, well, my share was in the other part, because he didn't explain which part it was. If he had explained which part the haqq was in, and that part was taken, then some of the money, or maybe all of it, would have had to be given back. Right? Everyone understand that? Excellent. All right, next. Now, what kind of things can you do sulh in? Right? So sulh can be done in several things. It can be done in mal, right, wealth. It can be done in manafi', usufruct. It can be done in jinaya, and that jinaya is basically like a crime you've committed against someone. You hurt them, you've injured them, cut their hand off or finger. This is called a jinaya. And that jinaya might even be deliberate amdan, or it might be khata'an. All right, so amdan is like you deliberately fighting someone and you, I don't know, stab them, or you cut their hand, finger off, or something very bad. And you intended to do that. And khata'an is you didn't intend it, it was accidental. Right? So for example, you're driving your car, you hit someone, broke their bones or something like that. So the point that he wants to make is, when it comes to these things, right, you can do sulh in all these things. So let's say there is someone who is basically, let's do him in a color that's easy to recognize. So keep it blue. Right, so he's saying, I want my haqq, I want my right, I want your, your hand to be cut, or you stayed in my house and you're supposed to give me money, or you owe me this much, this car or this house or whatever it is. Yep. So he's claiming all this, like he's claiming mal, like he's claiming a house. Yeah. Or he's claiming manafi, he's claiming that a person rented his house and hasn't given the money. Rented, yeah. Leased. Jinaya is legal, kind of a retribution. So in this case, the guy on the other side, he says, well, what if I give you some money and just call it a day? Call it quits. Let's just finish it off so you can't make claim against me. You want some money? He goes, okay, give me £1,000 and we'll call it a day. So this, you're allowed to do in all of these things. Yeah. What you're not allowed to do it in is you can't do it in hudud. In the hudud, you cannot do hudud. Remember, hudud is the divine penalties that Allah Ta'ala has revealed. Defines 5 of them. So theft, fornication, drinking wine, slandering someone, highway robbery. Those you cannot do. So if a person is guilty of that, of getting his hand chopped off, or a person is guilty of fornication, he can't say to the other party, you know what, take some money, because that's called bribery. So you can't do that over there. Over here, what we can do is we can actually try to find some sort of like fiqhy fiqhy concept for this. Yeah, a counterpart, you can almost say. What is the counterpart? If he gives 1,000 because of a house and he gives him that 1,000, what's that 1,000 represent? So it represents like a bait, a trade. 2 sides, one's given a house, one's taken money. Remember we talked about this last lesson? And manafi, same thing. If manafi on one side and mal on the other side, 1,000 on the other side, what does that resemble? Or it resembles leasing, isn't it? Right? Ijara. And what about this one, jinaya? Yeah, so jinaya is like a person is paying the individual for that particular crime they've committed. Right? And this is something which Islamically, there is actually, penalties and payment that you have to give if you harm someone. Right? But in hudud, you can't do that because there is no way in fiqh that money can get you out of this crime. Right? So you can't do it anywhere. All right, so let's have a look at this. So he says, والصلح, sulh is jais من دعوى المال, in claims of wealth, والمنافع, and usufruct, and جناية العمد والخطأ, any physical crimes that have been committed that are deliberate or are accidental. However, لا يجوز من دعوى حد, it's not permissible in the claim of a legal penalty. Now these are going to come later on in Qudoori. Don't know what year we're going to do this in. If we have reached that year, put it in the comments. But that had, you can't do it. Okay. So does everyone understand that? So what we want to try and understand is where do these fit in fiqh? Like, is there a counterpart for this in fiqh in order for us to allow it? Right? So let's say, for example, I come late to class and the teacher says to me, you have to give £5 because you came late. Is there anything in fiqh that allows that? Is that money that's been taken, can it have a counterpart? So no, that can't have a counterpart. Yeah. So that's like, bribery basically. All right. So let's say, for example, there is a woman, and this woman, there's a man that's claiming that he married her. Some crazy guy. Yeah. He's saying basically that, oh, I married you. And he's taking her to court. I married you. And she's saying, no, you didn't. Right? So no, you didn't. Now, she wants to get out of this because this is causing her life chaos. So she says to him, look, I'll give you money. How much money do you want? And guess how much he's going to ask for? 1,000. So you go, okay, give me £1,000 and that's it. Now, this is allowed. What is this going to be considered? Taking this money to get out, a woman getting out of nikah. What does that resemble? Well, you guys haven't done it, but this is called khul'. Khul' is where a woman wants to get out of a marriage and she pays the husband the dowry money back. So this resembles that, doesn't it? Because she's paying him for him to end the marriage. So that money represents something that is recognizable in fiqh. So in idda'a rajulun, a man claims, this guy, على امرأة, upon a woman, nikahan, that he married her. وهي تجحد, she's saying no, she's denying it. فصالحته, so then she does sulh. صالح يصالح مصالحة على مال, upon wealth which she gives him, بذلته حتى يترك الدعوى, until, so that he leaves this claim. That's the reason. جاز, this is jaiz. وكان في معنى الخلع, and this exchange or this sulh can be recognized by the judge as being a type of khul. Now, what if it was the other way around? Right, so let's have a look at the other way around it. So what if it was the other way around? What do we mean by the other way around? We mean, let's say the woman is claiming that I married you, right? And he's saying, no, you didn't. So he's saying no. And then he says to her, she says to him, give me some money and I'll drop the claim. So now this money is actually not allowed. This is not allowed because in nikah, right? So a man, if he wants, he can just divorce her. Why does he have to give the money for? Right? So we don't have any like relevant counterpart that can justify this. Right? So this is why we say, what in idda'at, if she makes a claim, imra'atun nikah ala rajul, against a man, فصالحها على مال, so now he has done sulh with her upon mal, بذله, which he gives her, لها, لم تجوز, this will not be permissible, right? Not allowed. Okay, let's look at another example then. Okay, if there's a master and a slave now, there's a man. This man claims, that this other guy is his slave. Right? He's saying, you are my slave. Slave, come here. Right? So you have another situation. A man is claiming that another one is his slave. This guy is saying, okay, look, I'll just give you some money, just drop this claim. Is this jaiz, just like the previous one? Will this be jaiz or not? So this will be jaiz because in fiqh we have something that's similar to it, which is a person gives money to another to get them out of slavery, right? So that giving money is actually something which is recognized, all right? So in idda'a, if claims a man, in this case, this guy saying, you are my slave, rajulin, upon another man, this guy over here, annahu abduhu, that he is his slave, فَصَالَحُ عَلَى مَالٍ, so the slave, or this so-called slave, he does sulh with him upon mal, أعطاه, which he gives him, جاز, this is jaiz. وَكَانَ فِي حَقِّ الْمُدَّعِي, so in regards to the mudda'i, legally it will be recognized في معنى الإتق, freedom of a slave upon mal. So when they look at it in the books, in the courts, they can say, what happened here? Oh, he gave money, right? Oh, right. So we recognize this as emancipation, just like the previous one. We recognize this as khula, for example, or the ijara one, and so forth. Does that make sense? Okay. So وَكُلُّ شَيْءٍ وَقَعَ عَلَيْهِ الصُّلْحُ وَهُوَ مُسْتَحَقٌ. Now, so basically, let's say, for example, like we have a scenario over here. So we have a guy, all right, this guy is in debt. So he owes, let's say, £1,000 to this guy over here. Okay, so he owes £1,000 to this guy. So this guy is a creditor. Alhamdulillah, my cough is getting has become very good. Alhamdulillah, it's improved. So now he owes him this, yeah? So what happens here is, let's say this guy over here, he says, give me 500 and let's call it quits. Yeah, give me 500 and let's call it quits. So let's say, for example, the money was owed on Friday. Friday, this is when the 1,000 was supposed to be given. But what he said basically is that you give me the money on let's say Wednesday, and just give me 500 and forget the rest. So this is the sulh that's being done over here. So sulh, so that means 1,000 instead of 1,000. So how do we treat this then? Now, if we consider this an exchange of 1,000 for 100, that's obviously not allowed because that's considered to be riba. But if we consider it to be a reduction, so like he's dropped his right, so minus 500, then this is permissible. So we consider it, because remember, we have to find in fiqh some sort of example for this. So this is why he says, kullu shay'in, anything, in this case the 1,000, waqa alayhi sulh, upon which sulh has been done, wa huwa mustahaqqun bi aqd al-mudayana. And this is something that's entitled, like this guy is entitled to this 1,000 bi aqd al-mudayana, because of a debt transaction. So like he's bought a car off him, he owes him 1,000. Lam yuhmal or lam yahmil al muawada. It won't be treated as muawada, as exchange. Right? It's not going to be treated like you owe me 1,000, give me 500, and so it's like we're kind of switching. It's like this guy's giving him 500, and no. So وإنما يحمل على اسمه treated, carried على أنه استوفى بعد حقه. So this guy has received part of his haqq, which is 500. So out of the 1,000, he's received at least 500. وأسقط باقيه, and he's dropped the rest. So the rest 500, he's dropped that. So you see what's happening. Instead of there being like a mubadala taking place, because that's riba, 1,000 on this side and 500 on this side. No, it's like 1,000 has been dropped, and you can do that. You can minus and you can deduct, and this is called isqat. So kaman, like the one lahu ala rajulin alf, like a person who owes a person 1,000, jiyad, good quality coins. Well, so let's look at it in a different masala then. So let's say this guy owes this person 1,000, and it's not going to be pounds because it's going to be gold, isn't it? So let's say 1,000 high quality coins. All right, so 1,000 high, because put it in gold because high quality, yeah. كمان له على رجل, so this guy owes him 1,000. فصالح على 500 زيوف. So what this guy has said is, give me low quality ones. Right, so I don't know, do we have low quality? Right, so give me 500 low quality coins. Call them zuyuf. Zuyuf is like not everyone accepts them. So what's happened over here? He's minus that and he's taken this. Yeah. So in that case, what happens? So he says, فَصَالَحَهُ, he's done sulh with him upon 500 zuyuf, jaza, it's permissible. Wasara, and it's become كأنه أبرأه, it's like this guy over here, the creditor, it's like he's absolved him, he's kind of forgiven him, and بعض حقه, some of his haqq. What's that haqq? He's reduced it by 500 and he's accepted low quality coins. So it's two reductions he's done. Does that make sense? وأخذ باقيه, and he's taken the rest. So this is a very important masala, guys, to understand, because what we learn here is in fiqh, whenever you have a scenario in a cafe or in a shop or between two people or traders that are building an extension for you and they forgive you some of the money, that forgiveness is actually sulh. But we have to find in fiqh where this actually fits. Otherwise, it can fall under bribery. Yeah, and we don't want it to fall under bribery. So that's why in these masail, I mean, Qudoori, we don't have chance to go through lots and lots of detail, but you get the gist of it, inshallah. Make sense? Inshallah, it's going to make sense. Khalas, and that's the masla basically. So let's have some questions then. So first of all, first question. If a person claims that he has a right in a house but doesn't specify which part of the house, and then someone else comes later and claims, let's say, half of the house, does the first person have to give back the sulh, the thing that he took on sulh? No. Why not? Because he did not specify which part of the house. So his sulh is still true. Okay, number two. What kind of things can a person do sulh in? So a person can do sulh in three things: mal, manafi, and jinaya, amad or khata. Yeah. Can a person do sulh in hudud, those 5 penalties that come from Allah? No, he can't. Why not? Because those are something which has specific to an individual. No one else can take them. Okay, next masala. If a person claims to a woman that he's married her and she's saying no, and she's saying take money and just drop this case, is that allowed? Is that taking that money allowed? Yes. On what basis? On the basis that this is recognized as a khul. Okay, what if the other way around? The woman makes a claim that the man has married her. Can he give her money to stop this claim. So no, he can't. Why? Because there's no basis for it in fiqh. A man giving a woman money to get out of a marriage. Okay. If a man claimed another man is his slave, is this permissible? Right, possibly. And if the other guy says, take this money and drop this claim, is that permissible? We say yes. So what will it come under? It will come under freeing in exchange for money, like kitab and mukatab. And finally, that if a person owes another person a debt and the other guy drops some of that debt, this type of sulh, is it allowed? We say yes. Why doesn't it come under riba? Does not come under riba because the whole concept of this is hinged on the idea that money is being dropped instead of exchange taking place. Right? Khalas. Jazakumullah khair for watching this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this. May Allah bless all of you people. If you guys want to support my channel, hit the like, subscribe, share my videos with others so that we can spread the khair and the sadaqah jariyah. And if you want to support my channel, you can support it by becoming a sponsor for my channel, a patron for my channel, where you give £1, $1, whatever you want to give a month. And there's also special videos I give to the patrons, others don't get as well. You can become one of those, and it can be a sadaqah jariyah for you or for someone else as well, inshallah. Or if you just want to make a one-off payment, you can do it through PayPal. Details in the description below, or you can contact me as well. Thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate it. I will see you guys next time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.